Hello children, welcome to the new topic of grammar, and that is sentence. Earlier we have seen a difference between sentence, phrase and clause, and today we are going to learn more about sentences. Sentence and its parts, sentence and its kinds. Fine. So let's see what is a sentence one more time. A sentence is a group of words that make sense. Sense which gives you a complete meaning. A sentence expresses a complete thought. A complete thought, a complete idea has been expressed through a sentence. A sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a symbol. Every sentence, whichever sentence we use for conversation, basically sentences are used for the conversation. Now that conversation could be verbal or written. So for that, or to have a proper conversation, what we need is we need to frame different sentences. Okay, so whenever we are framing a sentence, this point especially should be remembered when we are writing a sentence, right? A sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a symbol. Now what is a symbol here? Symbol is a punctuation mark. Punctuation mark means some of the punctuation marks, like for example, basically three punctuation marks are used to terminate or to end a sentence. That is why these three punctuation marks or these three symbols are also termed as terminal symbols or terminal punctuations. Why? Because they are used to end a sentence. And these three punctuations are full stop or a period. Full stop is also known as a period. Then an exclamation mark or a question mark. We all are aware about these punctuation marks, right? So these three punctuation marks are used to end a sentence. Which three punctuation marks? Number one, a period or a symbol. Number two, a period or a full stop. Number two, a question mark. Number three, an exclamation mark. Here, so these three marks are used to terminate a sentence. So what is the third point? A sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a symbol. A sentence has at least one verb or an action word. You can say a verb or an action word. Now here verb also means an auxiliary. It could be an auxiliary, not necessarily that verbs has to have the main verbs only. No, it could have an auxiliary verb also. A sentence may have an auxiliary verb also. For example, this is a tree. This was a tree. This is the place where I lived. In this manner, when we frame sentences, you may have auxiliary verbs also in place of main verbs or auxiliary verbs with main verbs. That depends how we are framing the sentence. So the example given over here is Sam went to the store, right? Sam went to the store. It's giving you a complete idea, a complete meaning. You don't have to ask more about it. Sam went to the store, right? So here when we say it is beginning with a capital letter and it is ending with a symbol. That is a full stop or a period. And it has its verb also. So this complete group of words is conveying its meaning to us. That is why it becomes a sentence. Got it? So sentence is a group of words which gives you complete meaning or a complete thought or an idea. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a symbol. Right? Now, sentence is divided into two parts. Which are those parts? Let's see. Those two parts. Here, one question is asked. What is the subject? So, sentences are divided into two parts. First is a subject, another is a predicate. First, let's see what is the subject. Now here, please don't confuse yourself when I say a subject. It really doesn't mean the subject which you study, like math, science, social science, and etc. But here, A grammatical subject means the doer of the sentence, the doer of the action. Because we already know that a sentence cannot be a sentence until unless it does not have a verb to it. And that verb could be any verb, auxiliary or main verb, but verb is mandatory. So whenever a verb is mandatory, what happens? There should be a doer to that action. There should be something who is doing that action, right? So the person or a thing, not only humans, but everybody around us, they do some action. It could be a living or a non-living thing. So a subject is a person or a thing that is doing an action, or the person or a thing that is the focus of the sentence. That means whosoever or whichever thing we talk about or a person we talk about becomes the center, becomes the focus of our conversation, and then that particular thing or a person becomes the focus of your sentence, right? And usually subjects are kept, or subject comes in the beginning of a sentence. Okay, and when it happens, when the subject comes in the beginning, in the start of a sentence, then what happens? It is easier for us to understand what is the subject of the sentence. If you can see here a example given over here, Mary likes to run at the public park. In this group, in this group of words, Mary, that is a subject, a person, she likes. What is the verb used for her? She likes something to do. And what is that something else to do? It's to run at the public park. So who is the doer of the action here? It's Mary. And we are talking about Mary. We are not interested about the park or what she likes, or what she may like anything. Mary likes to eat a pizza. Mary likes to go for shopping. Mary likes to watch a movie. She may like anything. But who is liking? Here we are concerned more about that part of a sentence. So Mary is liking. So Mary becomes the subject of the sentence. Now let's see, if Mary is a subject, then what is a predicate? What is a predicate? Right? Looking at so many questions here in this picture. Okay, so predicate. What is a predicate? Which part of a sentence is a predicate? Let's see. A predicate of the sentence is the part that contains the action. This is again very important thing. I told you before that a sentence cannot be completed, cannot be termed as complete sentence without its verb. Verb has to be there. It could be auxiliary, it could be action, but verb is the most important part of a sentence. I should tell you a few examples which does not contain a subject. Now you know what is a subject. It's the doer of the action. It may not contain the subject, but still that group of words is a subject. For example, if I say, go there, come here, sit down, stand up, shut up, switch off, switch on, all these sentences, okay? All these sentences does not have a profound or you can say a very perfect or remarkable subject, okay? But these are sentences because it is conveying us a complete meaning. Sit down, stand up, shut up, conveying us a complete meaning. So predicate is a part where action word is the sentence contains that action verb is called the predicate. Okay, it is the part of the sentence that is not a subject, of course, and it includes all the description of the action. Now, if that action has caused some effect, so that part also will come into the category of predicate, or that part will also be a predicate. The objects that are affected by the actions. For example, if I say Ram kicks a ball, okay, so Ram is the doer of the action, for it, of course. Kicks is the action done by Ram, and what is being kicked? A ball. So Ram Ram becomes the subject, kicks becomes the verb, and the rest of the part also becomes the predicate, right? So in this way, predicate of a sentence is that part which contains the action. It is the part of a sentence that is not a subject, and it includes all the descriptions of the action and the object that are affected by the action of the doer. Clear? So sentence is clear. It's a group of words which gives complete meaning. It starts with a capital letter and ends with a symbol. Similarly, predicate is something, subject is, there are two parts of a sentence. One is subject, another is predicate. Subject is something uh, which tells about who or what about of the sentence. And predicate is the latter part of the subject, which includes verb and the further information. A quick recap, a combination or a group of words that gives you a complete meaning, thought or idea is called a sentence. A sentence starts with a capital letter, okay, and ends with a full stop, period, exclamation, or a question mark. There is an example. She is singing a song. Now here she, what is she? Is a subject. Is singing a song. Is singing a song is a predicate which also includes the verb and what is she singing? What is the effect of her singing? What are the other things which is happening? So that is a song. Is that clear? Now we dig further, and what happens? What do we find? That sentence has 4 types. Basically, sentence has 5 types, but then majorly we study 4, and those are assertive or declarative sentences, interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, and exclamatory sentences. Which are those? Assertive or declarative sentences, interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, and exclamatory sentences. These are the 4 majorly these 4 types of sentences we always use and we always see. But otherwise, there are 5 types of sentences, and the 5th type of sentence I will tell you at the last. Okay? So, before we start with the types of sentences, I should tell you that this is all for this part of the video, and I shall continue parts of sentences in the next video. Thank you.